Hello children, how are you? Fine? Hope you are enjoying my classes. So today we shall be talking to you a new chapter, that is diversity in living organism. It's a very important chapter in your NCERT textbook of class 9. Here we shall read in detail about why we need to classify the organisms, what is the basis of that classification, and what is the hierarchy of this classification. Today we shall keep our discussion on this subtopic, need and basis of classification and hierarchy of classification. First of all, let I briefly tell you, so far today the known species of plant and animal is roughly 1.7 to 1.8 million. Such a variety of thousands and thousands, millions and millions of new more species which are yet ready to discover. This is the known species. What we have discovered, whose character we know, but so many other undiscovered species, much more than 1.7 or 1.8 million, much more yet to be discovered, are waiting, which are not yet discovered. So question is, such a huge number of plants and animals, how to remember them, how to remember their property? There should be certain basis. Say for example, if I go to a school library, what do you see? The thousands and thousands of books have been categorized in different almirah, in different rag. Somewhere the books of class 9 text, somewhere the reference books of class 9, somewhere the encyclopedia, in some rag the dictionary, in some rag some other mathematics book, some other rag history or SST book. Like that way there is a classification. In animal and plant also, the living organisms also, we need to arrange them in a systematic order so as to remember them, so as to remember their property, so as to remember their character. So that is why we need to arrange that arrangement, what we call as classification. So what should be the basis of classification? So basis of classification. So classification. So what should be the basis of classification? See, early attempt was to classify those organisms, living organisms, under two categories only. One is plant, other is animal. And to them belong to plant called plantae, and those belongs to animal called animalia. But there are a lot of complexity. Say for example, simple example, algae is a plant. Chlamydomonas, if I, or volvox, if I make a diagram of volvox, this is the individual volvox. Making a volvox colony. Making a colony, whereas this is a kind of algae, whereas Spirogyra another algae. So this is also algae, this is also algae. Where it is microscopic unicellular, it is macroscopic, even several meters long. So although algae, but putting them in same category is a bit difficult one because of their nature, because of their number of cells. So there was a lot of modification in between how it can be classified. So there should be certain basis of classification. What should be the basis? Number one, if we make a list of, say, number of cells, making or present within the body or present within the living organism, within the organism. Might be there is a single cell or might be many cells grouped together to form tissue or organ system or even organism. So based on that, this can be a basis. Number second, whether true nucleus present or absent. So let me wrap this part, or absent. Some organisms are having true nucleus, some organisms are having incomplete nucleus. What does it mean, true nucleus? Means it is having a nuclear membrane, nucleoplasm, nuclear reticulum and nucleolus at the center. So these four components, then it is called true nucleus. So some organisms might be having a true nucleus. On the other hand, certain other organisms like bacteria, blue-green algae, they do not have a true nucleus. So based on this criteria, again we can classify the organisms. Likewise, mode of nutrition. What is the mode of nutrition? Whether the organism can prepare their own food or they depend on some other organism for preparation of food. This can be the basis of classification. Or mode of reproduction. Or level of body organization. So these are the few points on the basis of which we can arrange the different known organisms in different categories. This category are called taxa. Otherwise called taxonomic category. So if we go for a hierarchy of the taxonomic category from bottom to top or from lower level to higher level, what will be the different taxa or what will be the different categories? Shall I wrap this portion? Dear students, let me wrap it here. So the lowest category in the hierarchy is species. Followed by little higher genus. Followed by little higher family. Followed by little higher order. Followed by little higher phylum or division. Phylum oblique division. Phylum in case of animal, in case of plant it is division. Followed by the highest level called kingdom. So if we go from bottom to top, the hierarchy of different taxonomic level or taxa, what you call taxa, that is hierarchy of the categorizing category. Lowest one at the bottom, that is species. Then little higher genus, next level family, next level order, next level in case of animal phylum, or in case of plant it is division. Up to this it is common for all plant and animal. Here in case of animal it is phylum, in case of plant we call division, and then again for both plant and animal it is kingdom. So let me take an example. Say for example, potato, Solanum tuberosum. Potato, that potato we are using for vegetable, it's a modified underground stem. So what is the scientific name of potato? Solanum tuberosum. Now why scientific name and what is scientific name I will tell you, but for the time being, Solanum tuberosum. So Solanum, let me write here, Solanum tuberosum. And there is a system of underlying this. So Solanum tuberosum. Here, this is the species and genus. So, say for example, Panthera leo or Fucus bengalensis. So, this is the species and this is the genus hierarchy. Then, if we go little higher, family, what is the family of this potato? Solanaceae. So as I told you, Solanum tuberosum. So here two things. The one is lowest one, that is tuberosum. It is the species. Solanum is the genus. And if we go to little higher, what is the family? Family is Solanaceae. Solanaceae. You may not remember this name, for example I am telling you. So like that way we go from lower to higher. Say for example, in case of human being, what is the scientific name of human being? Homo sapien. Homo sapien. So sapien is the species, Homo is the genus. If we go for its hierarchy, highest level, phylum, one but highest level, phylum. What is the phylum under which the human being belongs to? What is the kingdom? So the classification like that way goes on from bottom to top. Vertebral column is there, so vertebrata. We belongs to chordata. the phylum chordate. Because of so many chordate characters are there, we shall discuss in this chapter later on. So chordata. And kingdom is Animalia. Animal we all are, so Animalia. Now, based on all these characters or so many other, as I have noted here only few, the systematic way for the first time, one scientist, R.H. Whitaker. What is the name? R.H. Whitaker. One scientist for the first time divided the whole organisms so far discovered into 5 main categories. What are those? What are those? And that is what we call 5 kingdom system of classification. That is what we call 5 kingdom system of classification by R.H. Whitaker. What are those? Monera, next Protista, next fungi or fungi, next plantae, next Animalia. So R.H. Whitaker given this 5 kingdom system of classification, 5 kingdom system of classification. In detail we shall discuss in our next class. For the time you try to know someone why they have done in this way, he has done in this way, because some organisms are unicellular prokaryote, some organisms are unicellular eukaryotes. See, the most interesting thing, fungi or fungus or fungi and plantae, plant, both are plant-like. Fungus also plant. Why? Because they are also having cell wall. But then why it has given in a separate group? Because mode of nutrition is different. All the plants except this fungi or fungus, all the plants are autotrophic. They can prepare their own food. Whereas no fungi is there who can prepare their food. They are saprotroph. That is why R.H. Whitaker given the fungus or fungi a separate group, separate kingdom, that is called fungi. So plant in another, separated from fungus. Why? Again I tell you, although both are having cell wall, both plant and fungus or fungi, but the fourth one, plantae, that belongs to all the plant, all the autotrophic plant are different from this fungi because they are saprotrophic. Their mode of nutrition is entirely different. Like that way, this Animalia, here also animals are there, here also animals are there. Like Euglena, but because of unicellular, and here all the animals are multicellular in the group of Animalia we have kept. So based on number of cells, number of body organization, mode of nutrition, then whether they are autotrophic or heterotrophic, or whether they are prokaryotic, means having nucleus without nuclear membrane, having membrane bound cell organelle or not. In prokaryote they do not have membrane bound cell organelle, they do not have true nucleus. In eukaryote they have a true nucleus and a membrane bound organelle. So based on all these, Whittaker in a very systematic way classify all the known living organisms into 5 kingdoms: Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. For today, with this I will stop, and next one by one I shall take up in my next class. Till then, thank you and see you tomorrow.